take a look at the denominators. We have 30, 42, and 56. Many students immediately try to find a common denominator, but the common denominator for these numbers would be way too large. Not only is it very easy to make calculation errors, but it also wastes a lot of time during the exam. So today, Teacher Lizzie is going to show you how to look at it. Look, there's an x here, an x here, and an x here. Every term has a common factor, so why don't we factor it out, right? So I will factor out the x, and then what's left in the first term is just 1/30th, isn't it? What about the second term? What's left? After factoring out the x, what remains is 1/42. Continuing on, after factoring out the x from this term, what remains is equal to 1/56. And the final result is equal to 3. The next part is also very simple. Please take a look here. We have 30, 42, and 56. What kind of relationship exists between these numbers? Oh, if you can't see it at a glance, if you don't believe it, try breaking them down. Look at 30 actually. What can it be broken down into? It can be broken down into 5 times 6, right? Then how can 42 be broken down? Well, I can actually choose to break it down into 6 times 7, and 56 can be broken down into 7 times 8. If you use this method of breaking them down, you will find that there is a 6 here, and there is also a 6 here. There is a 7 here, and there is also a 7 here. Both the preceding and following terms share the same number, so hasn't the bridge been found? What should we do? Look over here. You see 1/30th, how can it be rewritten? 1/5 times 6. Since the denominator is the product of 5 and 6, how can we handle this one? Actually, it can also find a substitute, which is the difference between 5 and 6, namely 6 minus 5. Therefore, it can actually be expanded further, which equals 6 minus 5/5 times 6. Next, using the inverse operation of fraction addition, can't we split these two into 6/5 times 6 minus 5/5 times 6? Then, if we simplify the fractions, you will find that this 6 and this 6 cancel each other out directly, and what we get is equal to 1/5. And this 5 minus this 5, that equals 1/6. Ultimately, you will find that the substitute for 1/30th is actually equal to 1/5 minus 1/6. In this process, there is also a mnemonic called product of denominators, difference of numerators. You see, the denominator is the product of two numbers, and the numerator is the difference between those two numbers. When you encounter this product of denominators, difference of numerators pattern, you can just perform partial fraction decomposition directly. So 1/30th is equal to 1/5 minus 1/6. So what about 1/42nd? Let's write it out first. What does it become? It's 1/6 times 7. Using the product of denominators, difference of numerators rule, we can split it directly into 1/6 minus 1/7. Similarly, what about 1/56th? Isn't it just equal to 1/7 minus 1/8? At this point, can't we solve it easily? Let's continue writing. For the variable x, we will simply copy it down to start with. Now, looking inside the parentheses, we can break down each fraction. 1/30th becomes 1/5 minus 1/6. 1/42nd becomes 1/6 minus 1/7. And finally, 1/56th becomes 1/7 minus 1/8. When we simplify this entire expression by cancelling out the middle terms, the overall result is equal to 3. Now, isn't everything inside here just too simple? Look, minus 1/6 and plus 1/6 cancel each other out. Minus 1/7 and plus 1/7 cancel each other out. So what's left is just the first and the last terms, which is the final conclusion for many fraction decomposition problems. It becomes x multiplied by 1/5 minus 1/8, which equals 3, right? Then 1/5 minus 1/8 is very simple, isn't it? It becomes, what is it, over 40? 8/40ths minus 5/40ths, which equals 3. After finding a common denominator and subtracting them, it's directly x multiplied by 3/40ths, which equals 3. To find x, we just need to multiply both sides by 40/3, and that's it, right? So in the end, the left side equals x, and the right side is 3 multiplied by 40/3. These two can be cancelled out directly, so in the end, we calculate that x equals 40. Easily done. Did you learn it? If your phone still has more than 1% battery, could you give the teacher a free little heart